One second. 1 second. I just realized I haven't fixed the thing yet. It's a disaster. This is a disaster. Hold on. Oh my goodness. I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it. Oh, what can't I break? What can't I break? And is this it? Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota, and I apologize for being late. And then for not having the thing even set up. It's like I didn't even try. Oh my God. I was rushing to get down here. I'm very terribly sorry. I hope you're all deeply offended and troubled. As I know many of you are. Because I have learned. I've learned the error of my ways. I've learned how to deeply offend and trouble people, and I am humbly apologizing for that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So how are you guys? How was your weekend? I hope it was solid. I hope it was, hope you guys had a good weekend. My weekend was a mixed bag. My weekend was very much a mixed bag. Sorry, I'm still getting situated here. I had, I engaged in an activity on Friday that drew the ire of some. Maybe many. I don't know. It's always hard to gauge, right? Like that's the trouble with the internet. And I released a video a little bit earlier today. I think many of you know that. And if you haven't seen it, you can check it out after the show. I'm not gonna... I mean, it's about Friday, and I'll talk about it. You guys are fantastic. It's about, you know, on Friday I did 2 streams. I did one stream on YouTube, and I did one like I do fairly frequently. I follow up the YouTube stream with a Twitch stream. It's a little different format. On Friday, I carried on the theme from the YouTube show, which I don't always do, but sometimes I do. And I got to experience firsthand, and this isn't new for me, but I got to experience firsthand, again, the wonders of guessing just how pissed off people are with you. Because you don't know. It's the internet. Sometimes it seems like you're getting a lot of hate or anger or frustration or whatever, and then other times, but that might not be representative. That's what I mean. Like that might be a few people, but that might not be a big giant group. But then again, it might be, and sometimes it feels like it is. Sometimes it feels like it's a really big group of people. So who knows? I don't know. I do know that there's a limited set of people who just hate everything I do. So that's fine. Like that's very clear. There's no ambiguity there, right? And of course they're bleeding about the same. They're bleeding about the same stuff they always bleed about, and that's fine. I don't mind. Although, do these people not know the difference between racism and a joke? Now, I don't mean a racist joke, right? Like, I mean, they don't understand jokeology. It's the science of jokery. They just don't get it. The thing that I thought would not get, I mean, it was a throwaway joke, has ignited a wildfire among some people. Now, let me tell you the joke, because I don't want it to be limited to just the Twitch audience. I mean, I wouldn't dare. A joke, you always know when your joke is good if many people have complained about it. I've learned about that. People will tell you what joke has been the most effective by complaining about it. During the Dick Masterson lawsuit, Maddox and Dick Masterson, story time, kids. During that lawsuit, there was a moment, and it was at this moment where we got to know exactly what jokes were the most effective against Maddox, because he compiled a 60-page collection of jokes and gave them to his lawyer to give to the court. The funniest possible course of action. Maddox is a consummate comedian, and he knew that by dog whistling to the people who made the jokes, these jokes were the most effective at ripping me apart and making me feel like trash. That's why I'm going to complain to the court with them. So that's how you know when you've made a joke and it just becomes this thing. That's just professional advice right there. If you're a jokeology scientist, or even just a jokeology student, that's how you know. So, how the joke went on Friday was, at the end, someone said something about Vic being a cop, a former cop. And this joke is not malicious in any way towards Vic or towards anybody else, except maybe cops as a whole, as I'm mildly malicious towards cops in general. Like, I know good cops, but as a class, I distrust them. How's that? So, the joke was, Vic couldn't make it as a cop because he wouldn't shoot black people. Now, that's not a racist joke. That's acknowledging a perceived racism from cops. You see, there's a subtle difference there. And I think it's pretty interesting that people who I assume would share that sentiment thought that was somehow a bad joke. That wasn't a slam at Vic. Imagine being mad that I would say that Vic wouldn't shoot black people. Can you? What brain damage does it take, right? Like, that's your complaint, is that okay. Whew. I don't know what to do anymore. So anyway, in case you missed it, that is the explanation of my tweet that I made. Once people brought it to my attention, I didn't see the uproar because I was, kind of busy over the weekend. Not too much Twitterifying. Also, I've been following the Dick Masterson Twitter weekend, which made my weekend seemed uninteresting in some ways. I was following that, so I wasn't really watching my own stuff. And man, that has got people pretty upset. So we'll see. It's, I guess. It's like Sargon's joke. Oh no, I recant everything. I take it all back. Whatever I've ever said, it's undo it now. Anyway. Hey, what's up, Ty? How's it going, man? But I have the long and short of it is, I got Raw on Friday, and I always go Raw. And I was crass and crude, which is not a surprise and shouldn't be at this point anyway. I think people missed some points of what I was saying. But that's the nature of speech on the internet, right? And that's the nature of how this stuff goes. No one ever knows how serious people are. Like I said, I got the perception that a lot of people were pretty angry with me. I got emails and messages about it. But it might have just been those people. And if it was just those people and it was not a representative sample, then it really wasn't that many. But who knows? You never know. So if you're mad about what I said on Friday, figure out why you're mad about it. That's all. It's okay. And it's okay to disagree with me. I say that all the time, but I don't know if people believe it. I can disagree with you and we can be friends. We can drink, we can hang out, we can play Smash Brothers, whatever you want. Like, that's fine. I don't have to agree with someone to engage with them. And I think that's why I end up touching all sorts of different circles on the internet, is that just because I disagree with someone doesn't mean they're not interesting. But that being said, I know, and I really do appreciate many of you have expressed thoughts on what I said on Friday. And what I want to clarify and distill down, in case anybody missed it. My ultimate thought, what I think Vic needs to do. This is it. What I think Vic needs to do at this point in the case, this point in his career, and at this point in the public discussion, is I personally believe Vic needs to get more involved in it. I understand why he has not been involved up to this point. Of course. You can disagree with that, and that's okay. That is valid 100%. Don't get me wrong. I'm just a dummy with an opinion, right? Like, that's never been much more than that. My opinion is that he needs to engage people here, I think. I believe that. I do believe he needs to engage you, my audience, or whatever you guys want to call yourselves. I don't know if you're my audience or what. It's very possessive, and that's really weird. I hate that. This audience. I think he needs to engage this audience. However he does that, that's up to him. I think he needs to engage the audience of other YouTubers. I think he needs to make sure and engage the Twitter audience. I think that someone who has spent decades in an industry where the industry has taken the reins of engagement, right? Funimation engages for people by putting Funimation, put Vic in anime that would then allow a connection to be made with the customer, right? We understand this. I think that's how these things work, generally speaking, is that this is independence versus the pyramid of production. Okay? So you've got Funimation, and then you've got a core group of people, voice actors in this case, who get connected to the audience through their voice acting roles. And a lot of it has to do with the character and the IP. Ty, I may not be the boss of you, but I'm going to reprimand you for that they've got, through the IP that they purchase and the investments that they make there, and then through the advertising, they connect the audience with the voice actor through characters. Okay? And then the voice actors have this other role that they can choose to take on, where they go and engage with people at conventions and all of that stuff. And that's kind of how the industry works. The reason I think this is very important for Vic specifically is right now, that industry section, the marketing section, the communication, the advertisement, and that attachment to the IP thing is not really present. And we don't know how much it's going to come back, what form it'll take. But however it's going to come back, I think he needs to take on the role of fostering the connections that he makes with you guys, ultimately, who are the people who buy his stuff, who go and see him at cons. I think that's what he needs to do. That's the ultimate distilled down Friday right there. That was Friday. And I'm frustrated with how it has developed in that perspective. I'm frustrated in the way of watching a movie where the actors are doing things and you're like, no, don't open the door. That's stupid. There's a guy with a knife on the other side, right? Like, that's the frustration. It's that dramatic irony where you are it's not really, that's not dramatic irony. It's related to it, but it's where you're watching a situation you can't intervene in it. You can't do anything to affect that outcome or the course of action of the person. So that's the frustration that I had. It's been mounting over a while, and on Friday it came out, but distilled down, again, it's me wanting that public participation to ramp up, because I think that that's what Vic will need to engage his audience and to maintain maintain the relationships he spent years and years building. And so that's what that is. You guys might disagree with that, and that's okay. Again, this is just my opinion. Now, the spicier stuff that I said about him coming out and insulting people and all of that, of course, that's not going to happen. Of course not. That's not really who Vic is. So that's the hyperbolic funny version, right? Where he runs around with a Zippo and a Raid can and he puts the roaches to rest. if you want to take that analogy, right? Like that's how I addressed this in my short video. I'm not going to sit here and belabor the point, but I wanted to put out some communication about Friday and really kind of lay it out for people, because I know many people got the wrong impression, and that's my fault. I'm not blaming anybody else on the delivery. So that's where I am. If you want, I guess, to revisit that, the short video I did earlier, which is very clickbaity. It's absolutely pure clickbait. Yeah, click it twice. Click it, then look at that title and click it again. Realize you didn't even watch that video. It's pure clickbait, of course. But it kind of goes into this in a little bit more detail. So so there you go. That's what I wanted to say about that. But I want to kind of continue the conversation and talk about some other stuff. I genuinely don't know how long of a stream this is going to be tonight. I say that every time I say that, the stream goes 3 hours, but I don't think we're going to get there tonight. It's a Monday, and lately I've been taking Mondays off because I don't want to just sit and ramble for hours. I mean, I do. Actually, that's a lie. I want to sit and ramble for hours, but I feel like that's cheap for you guys to have me just come on and ramble along. There's other stuff to talk about, both in the anime stuff and in the news, the other news. Like the voice of Dragon Ball, the announcer, right? Next time on Dragon Ball Z, he died. So that's sad. And then, of course, completely unrelated to him dying, I'm pretty sure. I don't think anime is that powerful. But it's Martin Luther King Day. And as you know, all of the racism on Earth was concentrated into one super AR-15 that was paraded around Virginia. Like, I don't know if you guys heard this, but what they did was there was an occult ritual where they gathered all of the racists on Earth into one room, and they also gathered 200 innocents. 200 innocents. All you know, there are 200 innocents that were all trafficked by CNN into this room. It's dark. It's a dark web. And what they did was they slaughtered the innocents, and then all of the racists chanted racist jokes at the bodies of the innocents until the blood formed into a giant swastika on the wall. And then they took all of the AR-15s in West Virginia, because you wouldn't take them from your own state, and they melted them down into one sludge and built a giant AR-15 altar and anointed it with the racism blood of the innocents. And then they took that and they just marched it around in Virginia at the Capitol building. This is true. I know this is true because I saw it on Twitter. They actually also resurrected Martin Luther King to shoot him with the AR-15. It was very tragic and unfortunate. The police were powerless to stop it, and this is why we need the Inquisition. The Emperor's Inquisition would have fixed this. But no, you guys, my freedoms out here, my freedoms, thinking people have the right to assemble, assemble AR-15s, am I right? Thinking they have the right to speak, thinking they have the right to march, thinking they have the right to their bare arms, because all of them were in tank tops, of course. Have you guys, okay, I drug that joke out, wait, dang it. Oh, if we could only tell the jokes. I drug that joke out way too long, but have you guys seen the reaction? How many people died in Virginia today? How many people were shot in Virginia by AR-15s at the AR-15 demonstration? I mean, all of the sentient guns were there, right? I saw the pictures of all of them. Were they were just shooting people indiscriminately, I think. No, it's not zero. Come on. No. Somebody had to get shot down. That joke isn't from Larry the Cable Guy because it didn't end in a buffet. Oh, well, I mean, I saw the Twitterati was out talking about this Virginia gun ban, or the gun protest and all of that stuff. And I mean, this is a fascinating subject here. You know why it's fascinating? Because Alex Jones called it, right? 1776 will come again, right? He called it. And we never want Alex Jones to be calling stuff because he's ridiculous. And that's great. He's great at being ridiculous. But we want that ridiculous autism contained into one jolly fat man selling pills. That's where we want it. We don't want him to actually strike gold when he says it. We don't want him to be right, because if he's right, the world's in way more hell than we're willing to admit. But we're at this crossroads as a country, as states, as municipalities, as countries, as sheriff's departments. And everything bad I've ever said about police, I take it back for all of the sheriffs who are standing up for the rights of their citizens. Just you guys are exempt. Like sheriffs are exempt from much of the bureaucratic structure that deals with most police departments. Sheriff's departments are a different type of entity. They have a special sort of relationship with the citizenry. They're elected. They are not really beholden to the legislature. Hey, good night, Ty. None of that applies in the same way to sheriffs. And so we have sheriffs in Colorado. We have sheriffs in Florida. We have sheriffs in Virginia, all suggesting that they will not enforce these red flag protective orders that are going up. And it is, I mean, this is the spark. Not the spark. I shouldn't say that. That's really dangerous. This is a spark, right? This is a spark that can ignite a conflagration, or it can just peter out. But this is where the government needs to tread very, very carefully. And I'm going to tie this back into a real weird reference, I guess, just to call back to a couple months ago when people on the right were calling for the banning of pornography. Now, I get it. I get the nuance. Just walk with me here on the pedestrian version, okay? The pedestrian version where we say they wanted to ban porn. I know. I'm not arguing the validity or invalidity of it. What I'm arguing is the danger of prohibition. The danger of prohibition is something that anyone in any amount of power needs to be extremely cautious about. It's prohibition that, in a sense, that led to the Revolutionary War. It's prohibition, in a sense, that led to the Civil War. It's kind of prohibition that led to World War II. A different prohibition, maybe. But that is something that needs to be calculated. Now, in some instances, you might say that the prohibition and the risks associated with it, that it's worth it, right? Like, we would suggest, looking back on history with our rose-tinted glasses, that the pure motives of the North to prohibit and abolish slavery in the South, all because the North were not the racists. That's definitely why, and there are no other reasons, okay? But we'll just look back on it and pretend that that's the truth. That is a noble enough aspiration to bring the country to war, to risk that outcome, right? And to say, okay, well, we believe in freedom and of individuals enough that we're willing to risk the country going to war to defend it. Now, I think any honest look at Civil War history says that that is a very high level and whitewashed view of the situation. But we can take it. We can say that this is worth it. Taking guns is the opposite of the Second Amendment. It's the literal antithesis of what the amendment was designed to do. It goes against, like, for whatever, we can get into scholarly arguments about the origins and the textuality of the Second Amendment. We can make our textual analysis and arguments. Scalia did a great job of doing that in Heller and still screwed it up. We could do that all day. At the end of the day, though, the founders said, yeah, we want the citizenry to have guns because we might get invaded or because we might have tyranny. That's it. That's the bottom line. And to go beyond that, to take it and try and make these nuanced arguments 2 centuries later and ignore that at the basic level, the idea was an armed citizenry keeps its own government and every other government honest. That's the gist of it. And now we have guys coming in wanting to disarm the citizenry. You don't need that big of a gun. No. No, I do, though. I need actually not just this big of a gun, but I'm going to duct tape a bigger gun to it because that's what I need. Well, what do you need it for? What don't I need it for? Why don't you tell me why you don't want me to have it? Right? This is the weird thing we're getting into. We're getting into these reasonable restrictions and these nuanced arguments. Nuh-uh. At the end of the day, the armed citizenry keeps its own government and its neighboring governments honest. If we don't want that anymore, we need to take that out of the Constitution. We need to excise that. We need to hold our elected officials to task and make them own it. They want to do it through the courts. Why? Judges aren't elected. Judges are hard to remove. Judges are never really even known outside of major media cases. Like, I still remember Judge Ito. I don't know anything about Judge Ito other than, dealing with the O.J. Simpson trial. But outside of that, what judge what judge upheld the assault weapon ban of the late 90s? Anybody know his name? Cool, me either. You'd know the name of the congressman who pushed to repeal the Second Amendment, I bet. And got it done, right? That's the trick. If we had a repeal effort, you would know who was in charge of that repeal effort. They would be on C-SPAN, CNBC, NBC, ABC, MSN, Fox. They'd be everywhere. And you'd know who they were. When a judge rules on it, you don't, though. Like, you might get a blurb, but you're like, it just says, federal court rules this. Federal court in Virginia rules this. 4th District Court of Appeals rules this. Well, thanks. Lots of help. There's a very, very overt reason why they want to take freedom through the courts rather than taking it through the politically devastating process of voting it out and altering the Constitution radically. So this is just my mini tangent. It's something we don't talk about how dangerous this stuff actually is. But they need to be careful. Governor Northrup, governor who's got a way worse history of racism than anyone I know. That guy needs to be cautious in how he proceeds because it is a peaceful march or whatever. When people just show up and they have a gun. It's less peaceful when you do the taking away and the cop shows up at someone's door to take it and then someone shoots the cop. Or the cop shoots them because the cop's scared. Because he's about to have to walk into a room of a guy who's got a bunch of AR-15s and 9mm and all these cool things. He's about to have to go take someone's rights away. Cops are in danger when they take someone's rights away after they've stabbed someone else in the streets and they have to arrest them. Imagine someone just knocks on your door and says, "Give me all your guns." They have to be apprehensive and they have to be more careful about this. But they're not. They're wanton with our rights and they're reckless. They're reckless with the danger. They don't care how it affects the cops at the end of the day. And I mean, for all of my razzing on cops, I'll say it now and I'll say it again. I know there are lots of really good cops. I know really good cops. And at the end of the day, I want every police officer to go home, even the crappy ones. I want them to go home to their families, and that's it. I also want the other people that are engaged with them to go home. Or if they're bad, go to prison or whatever. Like if the justifiable arrest, sure, go to jail, go to court, figure all that out. I want everybody going wherever they're going, not in a body bag that day. That's my goal. That's my dream. That's what I want for all police encounters, is that there are no body bags. That the department's like, oh man, we got all these extra body bags. What do we do with them? Right? That's what I want. But these types of activities, the banning of guns, the taking of guns, the banning of pornography, whether or not you like it, ends with a bullet in someone's forehead. And that is... We've always got to balance that. We've always got to determine if it's worth the bullet in the forehead. Because it might be yours. Might be your forehead. That's the thing you got to be really scared about. Might be your kids. Maybe you're just a guy sitting in your car and a UPS truck drives up and you get shot by a cop. Think about that. Like, think about how this stuff impacts people, and that's the reality. And I think we too often get stuck in these intellectual arguments about, well, the founders didn't intend and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, you're next door to the guy with the guns and the cops have a shootout. Do you have reinforced walls? Do you have bulletproof windows? Where do you put your kids when the cops open fire and that guy fires back? Because they're going to circle around the house. It's not like they're all going to be concentrated in the front. You'd hope. You don't know where the bullets are going to go. And that's a terrifying prospect. Not so much to me. My neighbors aren't that close. It'd be a long distance round. Probably lose penetrating power at the point. Anyway, well, I've got some chats to go through, and then we'll circle back after the chats and see where we are, and then we'll talk about the rest of the week and all of that stuff, and I'll touch on some subjects that I've seen over the weekend and stuff that I'm going to be talking about really soon. Jonathan Gaweiler. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Thanks for the scotch recommendation. Shared a bottle of Lagavulin with my twin for our birthday. Amazing. I can finish this glass and forget I have jury duty tomorrow. Lagavulin is a magical thing. Strongly recommend. Next is Ryan Mercado. Says, extremely late and gay. Next time you're late and gay, Nikki, the Justice Department will take everyone in the chat in your Discord into custody and detain them in federal prisons. Oof. Very terrifying. Paquier says, when you're perpetually offended, a sense of humor is the first thing to go. A drink for their loss. Well, I think I can drink to that. I think I can have a drink to that. Yeah, and you're right. These people are humorless. They don't understand jokes. They don't get it. Yeah, imagine living life that way. It's got to be terrible. PG and White Knight says, was in a major accident yesterday. Was stopped in a queue to exit a highway and rear-ended at 65 miles per hour. Walked away with a fractured orbital floor and broken cheekbone. Considering crowdsourcing the replacement. Oh my goodness. I mean, do they have insurance, I hope? That's horrifying, man. Glad you're alive. Phoenix Orem says, hey Nick, off to work with a cold. Tonight I'm drinking a hot toddy to pass out. What do you have in your glass? I just poured some Cloud Splitter, and I've got the Milos at the same time. Cloud Splitter and Milo's sweet tea. So, let's see. GRP poll says, anyone ever suggesting to take away your rights, no matter how they justify it emotionally, is only ever doing it for power over you, and they always erode them slowly until it's too late. And you know, that's an interesting point. I agree, but I think it goes beyond the taking of rights. And this is a subject I think I talked about a long time ago. So most of you may have never seen it. It's probably in a backlog somewhere. But this is in the context of campaign finance reform, and I'll probably be talking about this as we go forward with this election cycle, right? Once we get past that impeachment, once we go with the election cycle, we're gonna get into the same conversation every 2 to 4 years, and it's well, Donald Trump is raising more money than anybody else ever. Or Obama raised more money than anybody else, and it's all coming from these super PACs, and it's all unconstitutional, and it's all against the founders' wishes to keep money out of government, which is, I challenge you, good sir, to find any evidence of that. But that's, if you haven't heard me say it yet, hear me say it now, and then you'll hear me say it again before this election is done. Campaign finance reform inherently favors the people passing campaign finance reform. How many times have you seen Congress limit their own power and limit their own positions? If you had seen Congress limit their own positions, we would have we would have term limits on congressmen. We would have figured that out by now. But we don't. Of course not. Of course not. Who'd they put a term limit on? The president. The president put a term limit on the presidency? No. No. Not a chance. Why would he? The president wouldn't limit his own power. The only one who kind of did was Washington. When he said, I'm only going to serve 2 terms. Washington never really wanted to be president anyway. We're kind of told that it was a reluctant acceptance and he was the man to do it. But that being said, the presidents didn't limit their elections. Congress did. After FDR won his 4th term in office, Congress said, nope. But did Congress ever do that to themselves? No. They're the only ones who can. They're the only ones who can do. My point in this is they won't put term limits on. They won't limit their own ability to rule. They won't say that they must be cycled through committees so they don't have entrenched power in these committee placements. None of that. But they will limit the ability for themselves and someone else to raise money. Now, let's ignore the fact that if you're a senator and you win your election, you get 6 years to raise money. Whereas someone challenging an incumbent senator probably has 1 year to raise money when they make the decision. Because they typically aren't making the decision, well, 5 years, 1 year into someone's campaign, I'm going after Amy Klobuchar in 5 years from now. No, they make that decision around the election year, and they have 1, maybe 2 cycles to fight against 6. Or if they're a 2-term senator, 12. And it builds and builds and builds. And so you have these incumbents with these massive war chests, and you have an anime-sized war chest, and then you have someone challenging them, and the incumbent saying, actually, you're restricted on how much money you raise. That's why Citizens United was an important decision. An important decision for freedom of speech and for actually the integrity of the election process. That's something that has been so successfully skewed by the media, which is amazing because the media, if we accounted for the amount of money that the media was giving in kind to congressmen by just interviewing sitting congressmen, if we started allocating the value of that to campaign contributions, they would have all been in violation of federal law for a long time. Always. I mean, think about it. Think about it. What? Ted Cruz gets interviewed by Fox News, gets seen by 10 million people. He didn't pay a dime for it. His opponent, which I know Ted isn't running right now, right? Like that's part of the whole thing. His opponent, Beta, O'Rourke or whatever, would have to pay to distribute, like presumably would have to pay. Now that was a high profile campaign. So Beto got some news coverage too, but any congressman can probably get on any news show just about any time if they've got an issue to talk about. In an election year, that's valuable. Very, very valuable. It's expensive too. If you were to try and buy that time, buy a 7-minute ad set in the middle of the evening news. I want to point out though that when we see these struggles over power being wrestled with from a legal perspective, we should always be skeptical that Congress is furthering its own authority, because they are. So when you see something that seems like a common sense restriction, right? We're talking about guns here, common sense restriction. We're also talking about campaign finance. Well, nobody should be able to influence Donald Trump by giving him $8,000 instead of $2,500. That would just be ludicrous. Really? Think Trump's going to be swayed by $8,000 in a campaign contribution? Maybe he would. Maybe. Is it $1 million? What number sways Trump? The interesting thing is the interest groups always find a way to provide whatever that number is. No matter what the law is, they find a way to do it. It's your individual contributions that are limited. I think that's a gross violation of free speech, free assembly, all of those things. But, that's That's me. We'll talk about this more as the election goes, because I think this is a very, very misunderstood issue. 6 million? Come on! No! No! Don't you dare! Oh my goodness. S.E. Tonks says, hey Nick, been a fan from the beginning. I'm an artist and wanted to offer my services if you're ever in need of scribbles and paint. Could I get a shout out? I could really use one. Twitter, where I post art, is at I'mSetOnks. So here, I'm putting it in the chat. I'mSetOnks. That's the Twitter handle you just showed me. So yeah, of course you can get a shout out, man. Oh, it's I'm S.E. Tonks, not I'm Set Onks. But it's all one word, so there you go. There we go. BTL video production. And S.E. Tonks, I will keep you in mind. Unfortunately for you, I don't know if it's unfortunate. It's probably fortunate. I have an artist that I work with pretty much exclusively right now, but that's, you know, and he's okay. I like him. He's not fired. So for now, I'm not super in the market for art for the channel, but maybe personally, I don't know. We'll see. BTL Video Production says, trying to repeal an amendment and right made for us to protect ourselves in case governments try to repeal amendments and take away our rights. What could go wrong? That's what I'm saying. It is politically devastating for them to try. That's why, if they really mean it, they should try. No one's willing to sacrifice anymore. Then he says, would it be possible for me to contact Vic for a possible job? That's up to you. I'm not Vic's keeper or gatekeeper or anything else. If you want to contact him, you know, I believe there are ways. I think his email address is public. Also, you could probably check with the Risen Bull Rangers. They might be able to get in touch with him too. So, check that out. Let's see. Next is June the Fool. Says, hey Nick, wanted your opinion on a family matter. Uh-oh. My grandpa's going to try and sue the county police for not protecting my cousin while he was in prison. He's currently in the ICU due to an older inmate beating him to a pulp. First off, man, that sucks a lot. Second off, so it would be jail if it's county police. It wouldn't be, I assume, it'd be county jail. Maybe, but it's a tough cause of action, but you might be able to force a settlement, but you have to find typically you have to find some act that's outside of just, well, they failed to protect. Like maybe they knew it was happening and failed to intervene. Might be a case. They set up the circumstances for it to happen. That might be a case. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But I'm sure you can find, the one thing I'm sure of is that you can find a lawyer who will fight that case. Whether or not you'll win is another question. It's a tough claim, but you know, there are lots of organizations for better management of prisons and for justice for inmates. So I think you could probably find someone to help out. But it's going to be a messy road. Michael Rule says, when you're buying the second toothbrush, don't forget the bleach. Now you know that Animat is a mentally unstable pile of garbage. Poor Animat. Imagine being afraid of someone when you're separated by a computer. And like hundreds or thousands of miles. Poor Animat. But yes, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I believe the Kiwi Farms uncovered a video of Animat that he did in the nude. Watch at your own risk. Watch at your own peril. That was like looking at a bowl of pudding that a cat rubbed against, right? Like, that was the image I was stuck with. God, it was horrifying. I'm not giving you that link. It's I didn't watch it. No, I just saw a screenshot. It's been up on Twitter and it's on the Kiwi Farms. I don't know if the whole video is up somewhere. I have not watched it, but some people have posted some screenshots and it is just nappy. Show it, I might get banned. I guess I could, you know, he did it, I think, on YouTube. Should we show it? Should we show it? I'll find it real quick. It's on my Twitter. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Where? Oh, here we go. Oh, God. Oh, no. No, I want to undo what I did. Hold on. I'm not gonna show the full. The full picture is a little bit worse. Here we go. So, there you go. All right, there it is. Ah! Why? Why would you do that? Why would you ever think that was a good idea? Oh, man. Okay. Oh. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers required for me and you. If you're out there, please like and share. Thoughts and prayers for your nightmares. They're not oh boy. Whew. On the finalizing the subject of the guns in Virginia, I am putting together a panel to talk about all of this stuff. To have this will be one of the, you know, more serious show. Look, we have a lot of fun here, but there's an important issue. Like, it'll be a more serious show, more serious panelists, and we'll be talking through these gun issues. So far, I have soft confirms from Stephen Gutowski, the Washington Free Beacon Second Amendment journalist, as well as Kendra Paris. Both of them are, Kendra Paris is the attorney who does red flag protective order defense down in Florida, and is advocating for change to that law at the legislative level. And both of them know the subject very, very well. Got a third panelist that I'm working on, and then it's just securing the date. But that's going to likely be next week. So if the guns issue, if you want to get some real legitimate education and some very learned thoughts on the Second Amendment beyond my personal opinions about it, right? Like, I have my opinions, you know, where I come from on this stuff. And we could do a scholarly breakdown, and I still owe a US v. Miller video at some point to really show how we got to where we are. But if you want to talk to some people who are immersed in this stuff every single day, they're great people to talk about the subject. So that will be hopefully sometime next week. I'll announce it as soon as I have it, because I think it'll be a great show. I'm hoping to get Mr. Mikel Casanova on this week to discuss anime and video games and all of that stuff. That'll be obviously a more fun stream rather than a serious political subject. And Joe, hopefully Joe the lawyer will like to come back on at some point. I didn't realize, and this is my apology, I didn't realize that Joe was going to be on for as short as he was. And it wasn't that short. It was like an hour and 45 minutes. But I thought we had more time. And so I was trying to get to know him and joke around with him and you know, get comfortable talking to him. And then he had to go sooner than I expected. So we didn't get really into the subjects that I wanted to get into with him. So I do want to have him back on, you know, because I really did feel bad about that. I wanted to get into some more substantive conversations, and we had some, but there were some subjects that I wanted to get into because I like talking to other lawyers who don't seem like absolute scumbags. So, and he seems like a nice enough guy. So there's that. Octorian says, there is no God, for we have killed him. Oh. Ripperoni and Godaroni. Dan Willis says, you can absolutely approach Vic with legit work. He is currently voicing an audiobook for me. Hey, awesome. Awesome. If you have a project, let me make a suggestion to people who have a project. Just based on, I know how I do things. And I know that I don't do things in the most professional way. All right. I don't do things in the most professional way, which that's, you know, that's just who I am. And sometimes that works out and other times it doesn't. Let me suggest something. If you're going to approach someone who does this for a living, who does this stuff professionally, be it Vic or anybody else, have a project, have it ready, like, not like you have an idea for a project. Have a project. Have a project. Have a budget. Have a plan. And have a deadline. Have those things. If you have, oh, I'm going to create this thing and I want you to voice it, well, great. Okay. Have the thing created and ready to be voiced. Have a budget. These are professional people, and you have to realize that how voice acting work is done with companies like Funimation and Rooster Teeth. Yeah, they have these guys on contract, but basically they say, ring, ring, hello, we have a role for you. We need you to come in and do it. Here's the date. Let's get it done. Checks in the mail, that type of thing. So have the thing, have a clear timeline, a clear vision, have a project created. If you contact these voice actors, if you contact any professional and you say, look, I've got this thing off in the future that I want to do, would you be interested in doing it? They might say, yeah, but when it comes down to it, you're really giving them nothing to actually commit to. And then when you get to that point, you may find that they're not willing to commit to it at the time that you're actually ready to go forward. So just some professional advice. That's with everything. Yeah. There you go. There you go. That being said, what else do we need to talk about today? Oh yeah. Let's talk about this guy. Hold on. Where? Oh. No, I want... Oh, I was clicking the wrong thing. All this time and I still don't know how to do Twitter. Oh! Doug TeNapel today launched Earthworm Jim on Kickstarter. There's an Earthworm Jim Kickstarter for Doug TeNapel. I have received my Earthworm Jim from the original campaign. I have not unboxed it yet because I wanted to record a video of the unboxing with Doug on that video. Not for a live stream, but just you know, a short fun video of unboxing it so people can see, because I really think what you get in Doug's boxes there, it's a well put together thing. So I'd like to share that with people. And he is doing a Kickstarter. I believe he has some extra copies or something. I'm not entirely sure what the situation is there, but he's doing some sort of Kickstarter for Earthworm Jim. So that's out there, just to make it aware. If you missed it and you wanted to buy an Earthworm Jim, there is an opportunity there. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through my Twitter timeline looking for the thing that I tweeted about. Where did it go? Here it is. And I saw that. Let me blow this up. So we're going to talk about this. There we go. This is Jonas. I don't know how to pronounce that at all. And he got into a kerfuffle with Aaron Carter. If any of you know who Aaron Carter is, this was pretty amazing. Now, has he taken this down? Ooh. Aaron Carter took the tweet down, it seems. Took the tweet down. It's Yodik. Is it Jonas Yodik? All right. So this is an artist. He created an image, and Aaron Carter used that image to promote. Here's the image. To promote his clothing line. He just decided to go ahead and take it. Now, in Aaron Carter's defense, a fan did send it to him, which definitely means it's in the public domain. That's what Aaron Carter said, and his legal analysis is sound. But since a fan sent it to him, it is now in the public domain. I don't know if you guys know that, but you can actually, if a fan sends you a copy of, say, Avengers, it's now in the public domain. And you can use the Avengers movie to promote your clothing line as a rap artist, for example. You can do that. That is 100% Aaron Carter legal advice. But that's where we go. I'm really curious to see how this worked out, if it has worked out. But the long and short of this is, of course, this is really bordering on severe copyright infringement, and could amount to, this is something that actually could amount to a lawsuit, and Aaron Carter probably has the resources to go after. Now, Jonas Yodik, if that's pronounced correctly, is he has 34,000 Twitter followers, which is quite a bit. But he's got like 250,000 Instagram followers. He's a professional artist, and he does this artwork, and it's great stuff. And it shouldn't be stolen, right? Like here, well, we're not, these are examples of his work that are out there, that he does, this sort of fantasy style art that's up on his Twitter. Now, the interesting legal question, let's take a brief second and consider the right here. So here's the image. I don't know when this one was tweeted. Let's take a brief moment, and we'll take a sympathetic side to Aaron Carter, only for a hypothetical sort of question, because there's going to be two sides to the argument. Now, I think Aaron Carter's in the wrong here. I want to be very clear on that. But I don't think you're going to get too many people analyzing the other side of this. And so the possible interesting dilemmas for Jonas is If he tweeted this image out, does Twitter grant a license for someone else to use his work? Do you, by accepting Twitter's license and use agreement, give Twitter and its users a license to use what you tweet out? And if he did, and his tweet predates the Aaron Carter tweet, did he grant Aaron Carter some sort of license to use the image? I don't think so. I think how that clause would be interpreted would be, that in granting the license, that license is for what we would call a retweet, an exact reproduction of the work via a retweet. And that taking just the image and using it in conjunction with the promotion of a brand isn't actually redistributing via the Twitter mechanisms the copyrighted work, right? Because your tweets are copyright, like you have copyright in your tweets. You do. It's a creative work that's published. It meets all the barriers. The question is, in using the tweets, are you using them in violation of the license or in the spirit of the license that you grant to Twitter? It's a global license, and it's to basically everybody. That's what it says on the thing. It's to everybody everywhere. Again, I think the spirit of that license is to directly replicate something via retweet, because that retweet gives credit and actually flows back towards the original person at the end of the day. That's not what Aaron Carter did. But I could see that argument being explored if he were to defend this case, saying, whoa, no, I got a license to use this stuff because you agreed to it. I think he really has a problem here. Aaron Carter, that is. But I just wanted to provide that mild counterpoint. Now, that's not his argument at all, obviously. His argument was, seriously, it's in the public domain because a fan sent it to me, which is wrong. Very incorrect. But anyway, I thought that's an interesting story that popped up over the weekend. I actually personally know an artist who this happened to in a similar capacity, where his painting was taken by a rap artist, and it was used in the album art without permission. Just grabbed it from somewhere, who knows? Just grabbed it, threw it in the album art, and it, it was a thing. But I don't think that artist actually pursued it, which makes me sad. And Jonas has mentioned that he's seen his art all over the world being stolen, and he hasn't really pursued it before. That doesn't mean that he can't now. So we'll see. It's really hard. He mentioned like at random like little shops in Asian markets and stuff like that, and when he's traveling abroad. And that's a really hard thing to go after. Aaron Carter using it on Twitter is not as hard to go after, right? That's under the US copyright system. That's on Twitter. Aaron Carter is probably in LA or something. You could pretty quickly find where they would have jurisdiction, and you could go after him. Is that just for Aaron Carter, or can Lance Bass fans put things into public domain too? What Lance Bass thing? What are you even talking about? I have no idea what that's about. Yeah, he had his stuff stolen by Madonna too. And I read that. That's in the Forbes article that they wrote. And he didn't pursue it, And that's a tough sort of place to be. It's a mess. Oh, wait a minute. So there's something else that happened over the weekend. I don't know if you guys saw this. Let's see. I'll pull this up real quick. This is amazing. This is a developing story as well. Taylor Swift hasn't stolen artwork. How dare you? So, I don't know if you guys know this, but the governor of Puerto Rico has been exposed by withholding emergency aid disaster relief from Hurricane Maria. Local firefighters have discovered a warehouse stuffed full of aid supplies, allegedly from the 2017, I believe, hurricane. Video footage of the warehouse has been exposed by local firefighters, withholding emergency aid disaster relief from Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, bringing the governor of the island under a lot of scrutiny. Facebook Live video of the firefighters giving out supplies of the emergency aid to the people of Puerto Rico that was meant for Hurricane Maria back in 2017. So there you go. Very interesting sort of development going on there. If I remember right, wasn't there a big hubbub about not enough supplies being sent to Puerto Rico? Did Trump get blamed for that? I can't remember. I feel like that might have happened. But I might be thinking of a different hurricane where a different president ruined something too. Yeah, isn't that... It's amazing. I'm from Puerto Rico, and that was from the last governor. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, Monley, for bringing that up. I don't know much about that story. I really don't. I was just alerted to it, I think today or yesterday. It's all kind of blending. But that's an amazing thing. Like, imagine, yeah, well, we sent you millions of dollars worth of crap to give out to people, and they just kept it in a warehouse. Why? Might... what is it? Occam's razor? No, Hanlon's razor, right? Maybe it's not malicious. Maybe it was just incompetence. But either way, that is extreme, at best, extremely negligent behavior by the government of Puerto Rico. Then Trump blamed the governor of Puerto Rico and got called racist. Oh my goodness. That's horrifying. Like, again, you know, what do you do? What do you do when the world's against you? Sell it back to the people there? I don't know if we should sell it to them. Oh, that's awful. It was not Occam's razor overrides Hanlon's this time, right? The simplest explanation is often the correct one. Very, very possible. Very possible. It blows my mind, man. If you withheld aid for a political game, you are a terrible human. You are a terrible, terrible human. So anyway, I wanted to bring up the GoFundMe here. Vic Kicks Back GoFundMe is at $272,115. There's some people who donated over the weekend. I want to go ahead and thank them. We got Anonymous. Thank you for those. We've got Good Samaritan, Anonymous, Harry Sachs, Anonymous, Mauricio Jimenez, Gelth Walker, Alana Carroll, Anonymous, Itchy Ron, Elena Silver, Jesse Fritz, Frederick Little, Haruhi Suo, John Rogers, Ariel Buckingham, Tom Young, Roger Bjornrud, and Anonymous. I know I read this one. So that's so thank you all for your donations. I really do appreciate it. Even though I have betrayed and backstabbed Vic Mignogna, and he will now be cast asunder into the fires of history. Oh my goodness. Have you guys ever been pissed off at somebody, or not even pissed off, just frustrated with somebody that you like because you think you have a way for them to do better? Have you ever had that? Man, That's not do better. Not like, oh, you need to do better. Not that. To do better, to succeed more. That's the frustration, you know? Watching people you like take a course of action that you don't agree with. And now, again, I can't say it's the wrong course of action. I think it's done pretty well for him. I really do. And I think for a long time, I definitely thought it was the right course of action. I don't change my opinion there. I just think I think that's changing. I think that's changing. And maybe I'm too early. Maybe I'm too early. Maybe I'm wrong. That's okay. But you know, that's how it goes. But I want to clarify to people, I'm not backing off of Vic or walking away or anything like that. Not anything of the sort. And I will still, of course, be covering the stuff that happens. So, but yeah, you know, this live stream thing is this interesting place where you and I get to share in a symbiosis of rage, and we get to experience things in a very visceral sort of way, right? And one thing I have pledged about this show is honesty and integrity. And so I can't rightly... People have asked me to like take down the streams or something. Like what? Pretend they didn't happen? Pretend my opinions aren't that? That's not the correct course of action. So I can't rightly be honest with you guys if I don't share frustrations or counterpoints with you from time to time. I've done it before. I'll do it again. And it doesn't mean that I'm the enemy of anybody. It just means that I might disagree with something, and that's okay. Or I might find a fault in something. That's okay too. This is a place of honesty. This is a place of openness or whatever. But yeah, that's the way these things go. It's tough sometimes, because in a lot of ways, it's easy. You guys probably know this. In a lot of ways, it's easy to be sycophantic with people or things or movements or products or whatever that you like. There's a thing in us that is, I don't know if it's an evolutionary thing, a God thing. I don't care. But loyalty matters, right? Like loyalty is something, when we have a disloyal person, it rankles us automatically. And disloyalty is seen as somewhat aberrant or deceptive or distasteful. So the loyalty aspect of this is built into us. And that's why brands are so hard to break. That's why companies grow so big. That's why companies like Funimation can do what they've done. And they are absolutely awful. They can do what they've done, and people still will consume their products out of loyalty. And it's not like, oh, I have to consume. I just love Funimation so much. No. It's not that. It's something inside. Like we're just wired to do the same thing. I think there's a similar term in psychology called psychosclerosis, or maybe it's sociology. I don't remember. But it's our habit of doing the same thing because it's just the thing that we do, right? Like when you go into a classroom, you don't have assigned seats, but you sit in the same seat anyway. Or you sit in the same spot on the bus to work every day. Or you park in the same parking lot at work every day. You buy the same razors. You drink the same soda. Maybe it's because you like them, or maybe it's just because that's what you do. Hard to say. So I know that when things... No, let me rephrase that. Sometimes it's easier to do that and to just trundle along. And other times it's easier to just express, the emotions. It's easier to do that. And yeah. So from time to time, you may not like the messaging, and I apologize for that. I don't think it's called OCD. I think a lot more people have it than you think. But Zachary Zwickle says, "Hey Nick, recently my Nintendo Switch got stolen, and I started a GoFundMe campaign to try to help afford a replacement better. I was hoping if I could shill my GoFundMe campaign and post a link to it in the chat." No, you can't post a link to it in the chat because I had to disable links in the chat. But you can certainly tell people what it is in the chat if you think that will help you. I'm sorry to hear that your Switch got stolen. That sucks. But you can like spell it out or whatever and have people go find it. But yeah, I had to disable links in the chat because of Corono and all of his Chinese porn spam bots. Oh, there you go. Oh my goodness. So anyway, Aiko chances, I know how you feel, Nick. Disappoint daily. You're late and gay all the time. Even Broly thinks you could do better. Someone brought up in my clickbaity video, I should have removed Broly from the background. I didn't even think about it. God. Some people are better at this than me. Some people are better than this at me. No more alcohol in Dark Souls next time, but that's what I'm going to do tonight. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Freezy, I've had a year of different things building up, and I coomed it all out on Friday. I'm not even worried. I'm like the most calm and chill dude you've ever met right now. I mean, granted, I'm not fighting Ornstein and Smug on Dark Souls, but we're gonna do some Dark Souls and probably some Fuyu tonight, because I got to get rid of this stupid bottle of Fuyu. Look at this. Look at how disgraceful this is. Yuck! I don't think I'm going to get through that tonight, but because that would be awful, absolutely awful. But I think tonight might be a whiskey and Dark Souls night. How dare you? Oh wait, I don't drink alcohol on Twitch. That's right, it's tea. We're gonna have a sweet tea challenge on Dark Souls tonight. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Are you going to the Golden State Comic Show Saturday to hang out with EVS? Golden State in California? No. If it was in Minnesota, maybe. Although I think I have something going on Saturday. I can't remember. Oh! Guys. I know many of you are doing this. I know many of you are doing this already. What am I doing here? Get off of that. It's New Jersey? Oh no, I'm not going there either. Bunker Housing says, just a second. Bunker Housing says, if stopped by the police, what is worse, to say you're a lawyer or a sovereign citizen? Sorry, that's an interesting question. Do I roll with the joke and say it's just worse to say you're black? Do I roll with the joke, or is that racist? I thought this is America. I don't tell cops I'm a lawyer. Certainly don't. And I would never be a sovereign citizen in general. Don't say anything, right? Hey, you know why I pulled you over? No. Where are you going? No. Where are you coming from? No. Know how fast you were going? No. Know what the speed limit is? No. just don't answer any of those questions. Or just answer with no. You know, that's fine. It's not illegal to not know the speed limit or how fast you're going, by the way. If they've got you, they've already got you anyway. If they've got you, like, you know, doing 40 over the limit. But yeah, yelling, am I being detained? Yes, I'm a lawyer. You know who I am? I'm a lawyer. I'll have your back. No, don't do that. Just don't. Be respectful, polite. No, or don't answer. You have to identify yourself. You have to provide your license, maybe your insurance or registration, whatever they ask you for in your state. In Minnesota, it's license and insurance. Just provide that calmly. If you are a concealed carry holder and are carrying currently, you're supposed to, I believe, inform them of that fact. The recommended way to do that would be to get out your concealed carry permit, hand it to them, and allow them to ask you the question, are you carrying right now? You say, yes, officer, it is located here. It is loaded, unloaded, blah, blah, blah. That type of stuff. You want to check with your state on how it handles that situation. But generally speaking, say as little as possible. There's just no reason to talk about it. In fact, I know a guy who, in my state, was arrested because he told police that he was carrying legally. He was legally carrying and transporting a firearm properly in the trunk of his car, locked up in a case or whatever. But also in that case, because he talked about that, which he didn't need to tell police. You actually don't need to tell them that there's a gun in the trunk of your car locked up. Like, you don't need to do that. Because he told them about that, because he made the mistake of trusting them, they went and looked and they found a Mossberg. The Mossberg sort of shotgun that looks like it's a short barrel shotgun. It kind of is a short barrel shotgun, but barely passes the qualification that the ATF has for short barreled shotguns. Yeah, he had one of those, which is perfectly legal to own, legally acquired, all of that stuff. But the police were ignorant that that was a legal firearm, and then therefore he got arrested, which was wrong, but he could have avoided that arrest by just not saying anything about it. Just not saying anything about it. The shockwave. There you go. And he got to have his weekend ruined, or week or whatever. He was traveling through the state. He wasn't even from Minnesota. And it's really, really frustrating. And he probably had to spend a good bunch of money on a lawyer to defend him, and all of that stuff. And ultimately completely innocent. But the trick here is that never had to say any of it. And that is what I want you guys to take away from that story. You don't have to say all of the things. Just because a cop asks you doesn't mean you have to say it. You can't lie to him. You don't have to answer. Just don't answer. So. He was traveling. As Cyber Taz says, most of us know you didn't specifically endorse Spectre's JMK video, but the Lick Spittles and Kick Vic are trying to use it against you for not citing his own sources. I would suggest listening to Earjuice's video for more info. I don't care. JMK is a pile of garbage. How's that? JMK is a liar, a pile of trash, might be a pedo, based on what the Kiwi Farms has uncovered under his own screen name from years ago. I don't know anything about him. All I know is that I have asked JMK, who the hell are you, about 100 times, and I never got a response other than, why are you scared, Nikki? It's like, just who are you? Literally, who are you? So if JMK is now having an identity crisis and Kick Vic is having a crisis of potentially being super friendly with a guy who may have threatened to murder Zoe Quinn a couple years ago, a guy who may in fact be an admitted pedophile, who may or may not have offended on a family member. I don't know if he did those things. That's what it kind of looks like. I'm not going to rush to JMK's defense. I certainly don't care. Don't know who he is. I've asked him. He won't tell me. So he had the opportunity to tell me he was none of those things. He chose not to. Instead, he chose to try and will his way onto this show to bore you all with his shrieking, reeing, and probably crying. Wasn't really interested. So, there you go. There you go. Yeah, his bed is his own, and hopefully just his own, because he is a horrifying thing from all things I've seen. And as far as like Spectre's sources, that's on Spectre. I don't care. I don't know how they're trying to use that against me. Okay. I hadn't commented on it before today, I don't think. I think I commented on the Kiwi Farm stuff. That's about it. Anyway, it's interesting. I'm pretty sure, wasn't JMK all in favor of doxing, or is that someone else I'm thinking? Oh no, that's A. Stallings. That guy was banal existence. He was super in favor of doxing. That's a weirdo too. These people are weird. That's the best part. This is why do I have Robotech merch instead of Macross? This is from the video game, I think, that was in the US. Sorry, this is the best part. The Kick Vic weirdos are hopping willingly into bed with people that they would pepper spray through the internet if they could. And then it comes out and they are forced. They are forced to keep up the narrative. Lynn Hunt is virtual cyber sexing with Shane Holmberg, filleting him via Twitter constantly because they're allied against a common enemy. Do you think that thing would be in favor of Shane? Like, Shane is a walking felony potential or whatever. Like, just look at him. Like, if you saw Shane walking down the street, I would go stand next to the hardest looking gang members I could before walking on the same side of the road as Shane Holmberg. Like, that guy is disgusting. And you've got Lynn Hunt and Renfamous and these people, these women opposed to people who look at a woman, endorsing a guy who talks very disrespectfully about his wife and their sexual relationship, who has a relationship with a much younger woman who might have groomed based on his phrasing of it. Like, all of this stuff, they should be appalled at this guy. But because of the narrative, they have to endorse him. Oh God, what a nasty place that is. What a disgusting group that has to be. They have to deal with one of the most homophobic people on the planet, Renfamous. I mean, maybe Lynn Hunt isn't offended by pedophilia. Maybe not. I don't know. There's a certain video out there that might suggest that she wouldn't be have problems with that, but maybe this isn't so strange. Maybe it isn't so strange. Huh. Weird. Anyway, Aztec01 says, if a guardian ad litem clearly expresses bias for the opposing party, oh, you are screwed, man. Without reviewing the case, is that an ethical violation? Sure, but is there recourse in court? Good luck. You could ask for the assignment of a new guardian ad litem. You could suggest that they're biased and you could try and cite it out. Can she file for a new guardian ad litem ethical complaint? Yeah, I don't know that you're going to win it. That's the hard part. Guardian ad litems suck. If you get a good one, they're great. but just the whole program sucks because they're supposed to be the kids' advocate. So your opinion on their opinion isn't very relevant, is it? Even though they can clearly show bias. Absolutely. It's a tough spot, man. Good luck with that. You can always petition the court to assign a new guardian ad litem and show why, but oh boy. Phoenix Arum says, before I pass out, I remembered something I wanted to ask you. If you could get away with breaking the speed limit, what song would you have blasting? And you pick Kickstart My Heart, Dance with the Dead remix for me. If you could get away, I get away with, don't you get away with breaking the speed limit all the time? Most people do. Trying to think. Running Down a Dream by Tom Petty. That's pretty good. It's not very metal, though. I don't know, man. I don't know what a go-to driving song would be. I have too many kids to know what go-to driving songs are anymore. I just listen to kids' music. Oh, someone mentioned The Offspring. You're Gonna Go Far, Kid. That's what I'd pick. Offspring, You're Gonna Go Far, Kid. I love that stupid song. That's what I would pick. Oh boy. Wayward Son, what are you? Are you in what was that show? Supernatural? Just in Supernatural? Oh my goodness. That's a great question though. I think it's You're Gonna Go Far, Kid. I love that song. Open Road by Eve 6 is a pretty good driving song. Not that Eve 6 is that great. They had like what, one album? But the Open Road song was pretty good. Okay. What else do we have today? I think actually we're kind of wrapping it up. Phoenix Arum says, nice work you did. You're gonna go fart, kid. Oh man. I think we're gonna wrap up the stream. Like I said, it's not the longest show tonight. I try usually to take weekends off. I don't have a ton of subjects to go through today. Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the channel has memberships now, and you're welcome to join up. I'm trying to put together the cooking stream for sometime this week, but I'm not sure if it's going to be this week. I want it to be. I just have to get my kitchen in order to do the cooking stream. And it looks like we're going to do a tomahawk ribeye, which I need to go procure. So assuming the availability of the tomahawk ribeye and my ability to get the kitchen presentable for a cooking stream, because I have to do it a little different this time because of where I have an indoor grill and where it's located. I have to organize stuff. But we'll do that. We'll make some good side dishes. It's fun. This is not Master Chef cooking class. This is how do you cook at home, just for fun. What are some ideas, and how do I make things? So that's available to channel members. Oh, that's something I could do. I could post the links to the prior streams in the members only posts on YouTube. You can also get access to those via the Discord, which is accessed by either Patreon or New Project 2. Currently, I am not implementing Discord for channel members, although I'm looking at it. I just need to see if I can track it without killing myself. So, make a roux. I'll make a roux. We'll make something that involves a gravy. make a roux. So there you go. What else is there? I think that's about it. Let's do the chats, and then I will continue the show on Twitch in a little bit. It's gonna be a few minutes. I gotta get some things ready, grab a snack, stuff like that. Yeah, if I haven't said it enough, you guys, of course, are always fantastic. Thanks for always coming out and hanging out with me. Tomorrow we should have a full-size show, and I just really wanted to get Friday addressed, since I got more... Wait, don't leave. Don't leave. I know I'm saying this too late. So many of you are already leaving. Don't leave. Don't leave yet. I've got a present for you, late watchers. Late watchers. I mentioned this on Twitch. I mentioned this on Twitch. Yes, this is more bait. I am going to... I mentioned that this is always interesting to me. Ron Toye sent me a message. And let's see. I don't want to show the whole message. I apologize for that. I don't like sharing DMs in general. I'm not a huge fan of it. But Ron Toye sent me a message. And I wanted to, I didn't want to show the receipts because I have this internal conflict, right? I don't like disclosing private messages, but I think that this one has some content that you guys might want to see. You guys might want to see because it gives an insight into who Ron Toye is, okay? So I'm not going to show the entirety of the message, but you'll see that it's from Ron Toye, and I'm going to give you the first half of it. In the second half, I'll tell you the contents. It's not really relevant. I'll just tell you what he says. I just don't want to show it all. I don't like doing that. I really don't. So, here we go. This is not a troll. This is it. Let me pull it up to where we get the full amount of the message I want to show. Okay. So as you can see, this is from @RonToye. It's Ron Toye. It's a protected account. You know, this is it. That's it. You can see this is live or whatever. So I wanted to show you guys this because I think it's important. Ron Toye has done this a couple times. Now this looks like the first message because remember my old Twitter got nuked. So I don't have those anymore. But he has done this before. And it always seems to be when I get under Ron's skin in some way, he reaches out. That's my opinion. Maybe it's not. Marcus, unironically, I will clip out the smiley faces and show you before we log off. There are smiley faces in this. There are smiley faces. I have the receipts. There are smiley faces. I will show you the smiley face. You can't make this up. So I'm going to read this to you real quick. Just this first paragraph. And then I'll summarize the rest. But you guys make of this what you will. I know what I make of this. I do. And I'll tell you my thoughts on it. But I wanted to share this with you real quick because I am not a fan of posting things if I can't, or saying things if I can't prove it. And I think some people might have doubted that this happened, but this happened. This is on Sunday at 8:09 p.m. Okay, Sunday at 8:09 p.m. So the clips and the full Twitch stream have been making the rounds. I should probably I should probably copy strike those. This asshole's stealing my stuff. Come watch it on my channel, you cowards. Just kidding. Okay, so here's Ron. Lol. Now I know you are just a pathetic gamer who's obsessed with a voice actor. That's it. That's gotta be it. I thought you were a professional and were bothered. It'd be Ron. Bothered that someone who invested in a career as a... Oh, no, you was bothered. I was bothered. I thought he was saying I was bothered. Or I were bothered. No, he means him. Okay, so I thought you were a professional and I was bothered that someone who invested in a career as a lawyer would be so vile. Have you met your lawyer? Have you met your lawyer? Have you met any lawyers? They're the worst people on the planet, Ron. God, they suck. Lemoyne only sucks less because his lungs don't work. Would be so vile and not even look into the validity of both sides of a discussion. Imagine the self-awareness of this guy. I wouldn't even look into both sides. No, Ron, the problem is I did. I tried. I've been begging you to show us the other side and you won't do it. You won't do it. You've tried to hide it and obfuscate it every step of the way. You little leprechaun, what is wrong with you? You were the worst thing to ever happen to him, Vic. True. And I hope you remember that your tactics to save his career is what destroyed everything. Oh, you're right, Ron. That's true. He's spot on in this. I hope you guys realize how right Ron is. He told everyone he was going to get help and work on himself. I said it Friday. I said it Friday. And I meant it. Never, ever, ever apologize. Never, ever apologize. Never do it. Look at this. He's still on this narrative. Vic has denied it in deposition. Vic has denied it in public. He's denied it on unlocked videos. He's denied it ever. He has never said that he was going to get help and work on himself for what they accused him of. At all. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Saying he was recommitting to God. I'm recommitting to God. That doesn't mean that you did things that are illegal and now you must recommit. That's just a person deciding that they looked at their life and they want some different direction. Maybe they thought, all of my friends hate me. I need to figure out what went wrong. And I need to take some time and reflect on that. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe a bunch of people shoving knives into your back makes you need a moment of self-reflection, you little fucking weasel. Or maybe not. Maybe you're right, and he just admitted to everything that he's actually denied over and over and over again. Maybe that's the case. Guys, I can't... If you want to know why I think Vic needs to be more and more public, it's because of this. It's this stuff. This is why. There's a narrative amongst his detractors that says this. Well, he apologized and admitted. Never did. He never once did. But they just say it enough for the lie to become reality. So anyway, you know what Monica said in her statement and what I emailed him. Yeah, I do. I believe I've shared it on stream. You twisted it to fit your narrative and agenda. It's your words, homie. I can't twist it. You guys know how to twist. You've twisted the knives. I didn't twist shit. I just present this. You're the liar, Ron. Twisted it after saying, after calling out the apology that wasn't an apology for what you've said it was over and over, you little liar. Anyway, I hope he is starting to see through you and his fake friends and fake fans. Because remember, y'all, Ron is his real friend. Ron is. And Monica and Jamie Markey. They're his real friends. And with friends like that, who needs suicide? The next things he does, like I said, I said I'd summarize it. He says he would suggest a few books to read. How to Win Friends and Influence People, and then Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Because if we know how to win friends and influence people, man, Ron Soye, that's the guy who does it. That's the guy who's good at winning friends and influencing people. And that's the guy who displays emotional intelligence right there. So I'm glad to take his recommendation. I'll take it under advisement, Ron. I will clip the smiley faces. Just a minute. I'm going to prove it. And he also says this will be over, and he hopes that I move past my anger and find a way to add value to my fans and audience. There you go. That was nice of him. That's good. So, some well wishes. So, let's see. And this is my proof that this is indeed Ron, just for you guys. I'll bring it over. Here we go. There it is. That's all the proof you need. Right there. Oh my goodness. So, you know, like I said, I've been dealing with some stuff over the weekend. That's one of the minor things. He deleted his Twitter account, but he brought it back. Like, suspending your own Twitter account is a temporary thing that you can undo. So that's why I was telling people that, no, it probably wasn't concealing evidence or anything like that, or in violation of or destruction of evidence. Because I know a lot of people were talking about that, but really, like, you can just delete you temporarily delete your Twitter account, but it's still there. The stuff is still there, and you can preserve evidence in other ways. So I wanted to point that out back then. But yes, he is back on Twitter. He's still protected. And I can tell you guys my response to him. I just wrote, "Sure, Jan," which is a Brady Bunch joke, I guess. But I had to speak to him in Boomer. But so there you go, guys. I wanted to, like I said, I don't like posting DMs, but I wanted to present enough of the receipts just to prove. I don't lie to you guys. I know you know that, but I get accused of it so much, and I haven't. And that honesty gets me in trouble, right? Friday, that honesty can get me in trouble. But that's the kind of guy I am. And if you don't know that, welcome to it. But I try to be open, upfront, and honest with you guys, because I believe that's the nature of integrity. Is proving what you can, saying what you believe, and standing by your convictions. So that's me. You may have a different definition, but that's mine. So all right, sorry, I didn't mean to tease that out, and I didn't mean to forget and say I was reading the chats first, but I'd forgotten that I wanted to do that, and then I remembered it at the last minute. So here we go. Let's go back now to the let's go back to the chats, and then we will go over to Twitch for a chill Dark Souls sweet tea challenge, and should be should be fun. But again, I think it'll probably be a lot more tame than Fridays, or I'll be rampaging about something else. One of those two. But come enjoy it. Come enjoy it. Do I know when the Russell Greer stream will be? No, I don't. I just got another document today on Russell Greer. I got the police report today. The guy who has procured the Russell Greer documents is truly a hero, and has been fantastic. And I am eternally grateful to him. And he is asked to remain anonymous, so I am keeping him anonymous completely. But he has procured the documents. Just sent me another one today. I believe it was either today or yesterday with the police report itself, which has the quoted wall message and all of that stuff. I've just got to coordinate with Sriracha to do it. Just it feels wrong since she introduced me to Russell Greer and his shenanigans. It feels wrong. I know that she's been waiting for this document. So there you go. So we'll do that. What is that phone number being spammed in the chat? What the heck? Will you be bringing out the Greer lips? I mean, the Greer lips are here. Right on the $1 million mead, the $20 million mead. Greer lips are here, just waiting. Look at that. Isn't that something you want to see? Yeah, that's it right there. Oh yeah. So, there you go. That's the Greer lips. We'll probably do some Greer lip whiskey. If you've never witnessed that, it's atrocious and disgusting. But we will that's the wrong way. That's not hot. This is a violent felony. I hope you know that. Like, if you're managing this, someone has deceased. That's not good. That's not good at all. It's not hot. Oh boy. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. We've got all right, let's do the chats now. By the way, what's up, Yellow Flash? I see you there. How's it going, man? Let's see. Jay. No, wait. Enter the name here, Bohemian says, I thought about your question, and what I want from the lawsuit is saying the hotel story was a lie she made up when she was sinking the ship. If you don't want hugs, say no thank you, and making a registry for remote wielding offenders, more sweet tea. That's a good one, man. I do want that hotel story. That hotel story smells almost as bad as Shane Holmberg. I don't trust it for a moment. And you know what the worst part about this is? And maybe this is what rankled Ron so much. Let me get intimate with you, Ron. Let me get intimate with you. Please. I know how your intimate relationships go. Please stay away from remote controls for just a minute. Let's talk about this, Ron. Are you just mad that Monica never told you about any non-platonic encounters with Vic until the world knew? Because she didn't tell Funimation until after Vic was fired. And I bet she didn't tell you because you're the sheepdog. You're the sheepdog, right, Ron? But you weren't hostile to Vic before last year, January. You weren't hostile. You're the sheepdog. And You came out screaming about him based on the jelly bean story? Are you just mad? I bet Monica didn't tell you about it at all. Even taking Monica's position that he somehow forced himself on her, which I believe zero. And here's the darkest part, Ron. Here's the worst thing. I bet deep down in that black little heart of yours, you don't believe it either. That's what's got you really scared. Imagine being the sheepdog and protecting the sheep and then going up to it, looking closely and realizing that that's just a fleece coat and the sheep's actually the wolf. The one you're protecting is actually the wolf. Well, have fun with that, Ron. That's the worst part, is I think you know this. I think that's what really bothers you. Something always does. You give it away every time, buddy. All right, sorry. Sorry to dwell on that. It's just, that's the milk of the poppy right there. Jay says, for alleging Vic has done all these things, the accusers seem weirdly possessive of him. Maybe it's because they don't believe it. Almost like they see him as an object to be used, and them, the magnanimous victims, only want to help him become that object again, but under their control. Think you got it, buddy. Think you're onto something. TLJ Screwjob says, oh my god, and I thought Austin Powers was joking with all that chest hair. Animat should be careful he doesn't catch a hairball and Minecraft himself on accident. Gross. Gross. That's filthy. What if he implies licking himself? Ugh. Cynic in Chief says, Daddy, no! MBA's daughter or Ron Toye's son. Oh, man. Oh, man. Cocky Onsai says, the Kiwi farms are not a personal army. They have said so in the past. Some of them need to remember that the converse is true as well. R.E. Nick to Kiwi farms. AGK says, here's some beer money. Probably shouldn't be typing this while driving. But hey, that's the old adage. What's the old adage about Polacks and intelligence? That we are the most intelligent and handsome people on the planet, obviously. Alien Xenomorph says, so geekdom was hurting Vic as Renfield? I don't know that he was hurting Vic. I know that he was opposed to Vic behind the scenes. A lot of people were. And I mentioned it, but I don't think I clarified that. I don't think that geekdom is as big of an issue as some of us may have thought geekdom was at the time. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? And that's probably why geekdom wasn't really talked about very much. Is that I don't know that geekdom was as bad as was initially portrayed in source circles. So I can't really elaborate on that too much because running into doxing sources is not my game here. But let's just put it that way. So Gelth Walker says, I want my spanner, lol. By the way, Nick, can you show SG Sammy how to put a countdown timer on his live streams? He has no idea. And still in your grandpa pant. I'm wearing blue jeans. What's up? What? Okay, here we go. I don't know how, if SG Sammy uses Streamlabs or whatever, I think you can just put a timer. I think Streamlabs has a timer. Otherwise, you could find a internet timer and window capture it or whatever. You could do that. Another one, Gladiator says Geekdom 101 was Renfield, WTF. And I do believe I said was, and I don't believe he is anymore. How's that? Because again, I think Geekdom's role was communicated to some of us in a way that made him look much worse. So, like, I said this on Friday, but I want to be clear. I've talked to Geekdom in DMs, and he seems like a pretty stand-up guy. I've only got a little bit of experience and impression with him. So I'm not saying that Geekdom is this persistent problem or anything like that. I think initially Geekdom was, from some sources, revealed to be much worse than he ended up being. And so that, I think, set temporarily that he was much more of an issue. Does that help? I hope that helps. Angry Baneling says, what lets you go up and down isn't an elevator, but is definitely spiral. Rude. No spiral staircases for you, good sir. Insert clever name here. Hey, thanks for joining the channel. I appreciate that. Doppler Radar says, now we know the players, Sabbat, Sean, and Geekdom. Again, people are making a lot out of Geekdom and ignoring the part where I said not anymore. So hopefully my clarification has helped out with that. Like I said, if Geekdom was as big of a problem as initially thought, I think you guys would probably have heard about it more. Probably from me. But again, Sefi Hakubi says, good evening. Just had a great weekend at PAX South and met so many indie creatives. For my fellow talents that feel stopped at the gate, remember there is a ton more of y'all than there are of them. Absolutely, there are. Oh, I wanted to mention, I know some of you are doing this, but I found out that Anna Minneapolis is coming in May of this year. And if any of you are in the Minneapolis area or in range of Anna Minneapolis, I'm considering going. And I'm apparently not banned from the show. And they're apparently fairly neutral on the Vic situation. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the indication that I've kind of gotten. So if you are one of those people who asks, for Vic to be invited to cons or whatever, and you politely and respectfully know how to do that, if it's in your prerogative to do so, I could suggest Anna Minneapolis might be a place that would have him. I don't know if they would have him. I just know that apparently they won't escort me out of the building just by existing, which is a start. So Anna Minneapolis might be a possibility there, if that's what you do. I'm not saying, I'm certainly not calling for a flood of emails to them or anything like that. But if I know some people are out there and they suggest to local cons that they might have connections to invite Vic or tell them that that's who they want to see. And that's one that might have potential. So there you go. And if he goes to Anna Minneapolis, I would be inclined to go. I don't think they'd have me as a guest. I have no idea. I've never talked to any of them, but I'd be interested in going. I might just personally go if that were the case. Next. Where are we? Rando number 9 says, as the CEO of racism, I can confirm this ritual. A border prince says, more importantly, have you read The Great Work yet? No, I was about to start Celestine. Should I read The Great Work instead? If you're still there, border prince. I've heard it's really good. I found out that I missed 2 special editions and I had to buy them on eBay. By the way, there's a massive amount of profit involved in anyone who can procure a Warhammer special edition and sell it to me for profit. because I miss them all the time. But anyway. No, I haven't read The Great Work yet. Should I start reading that one instead of... I could read that instead of Celestine, because I was just about to start it since I finished The Carrion Throne the other day. But I could do The Great Work. Cressane says, maim, kill, burn, death to the false emperor. Oh, man. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Ninja Breadman, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining. Howling Warwolf says, Razor Fist once said he believes people in the know give Alex Jones factual information. Know if he's the first to speak out about it, people will just think it's BS. What do you think? So a controlled opposition sort of thing, but not quite. Maybe. I try not to dwell on the possibilities like that. It's too depressing. It's too depressing, but very possible. Very possible. I'm not going to discount that. Cynic in Chief says, Vic can't be Miami PD. He won't shoot UPS drivers. Racist against brown truck drivers. How dare you? How dare you? Koro Tengetsu 91 says, North kept their slaves after the 13th Amendment ratified. Some states, yeah. 4 of them. Bookham Dano says, the founding fathers grew up shooting at government soldiers, so they knew full well the consequences of it. I agree. Seriously, what's up with that Greta chick? Is she must not be American, right? Her accent is not American. Where's she from? Kuro Tengetsu 91 says, Lincoln relieved a general for freeing his slaves. He even said he'd keep slavery if it kept the Union together. She's Swedish? Oh, okay. Y'all know a lot about this chick. I'm calling Chris Hansen. BTL Video Productions. And Mike is contentious. Welcome. Thank you for joining the channel. I appreciate it very much. Damnation 3 says, so what is your argument against Scalia's argument about the rights not being unlimited? My argument is that Scalia limited the... I need to go through the Heller decision sometime, but he limited it to basically handguns and said that it didn't apply to military style weapons in common use, which is weird because, I mean, it did. Like, originally, the Second Amendment protected the right of people to own boats with cannons, the biggest weapons of war that were available, private cannons. The Revolutionary War was fought with borrowed cannons from private estates. So were wars after the signing of the Constitution. Like this, the idea that it didn't protect weapons of war is weird. It's a weird way to go. And I'm annoyed with Scalia for penning it that way and like limiting it to handguns. Well, the handgun is protected. An AR-15 may not be. Well, why not? Like, what's the logical reason behind that distinction? I don't like it. I don't think it's accurate, and I don't think it's consistent. BTL, and I think he sold us upriver with it. BTL Video Production says, everyone with political power needs term limits. Mayors, judges, Congress, everyone, believe it or not, they have quite a bit of power on their own. Bad Vibe says, just to make a point, money amps speech. Yep. Lastal 1, thank you for the donation. The Coke Master says, Digibro reviewed a hentai with panties on his head. All right. Cynic in Chief says, I'd love for you to get Steve Leto on the show. Well, that'd be fun. I don't know if he'd come on, though. Sean Fisher says, any chance of getting Keon back for a stream? Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. I'm trying to put together another Big Brain panel. I just got to schedule it. Leo says, you think Law & Order SVU will do a Vic episode? I doubt it. JHP, welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining. Where did that go? There we are. The Unrelenting Male Gaze says, it's a sign that you care, Nick. Oh, thank you. Delth Walker says, Nick Art sheep.com for the Taylor Swift article. Oh, thanks. Art-sheep.com, I guess. No, I don't disbelieve you. I was making a joke. Bad Dragonite says, tomahawk ribeye, you kill the buffalo Injun style. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm shocked and appalled. I kill the buffalo while sitting crisscross applesauce. That's how PC I am. Franco Miranda says, talk about Iago, Igor, and Renfield. No. I've said what I want to say about that. Curious Items Inside says, do you plan on covering that Supreme Court hearing set in April about whether EC voter... Electoral College voter has to follow how the state voters can vote their own way? Yes. Yes, I plan on covering that. Jennifer Douglas says, soy is mad. Yep. Sakaki Onsai says, loose women and hand farm implements royally cheesed. Prometheus Zeta, thanks for joining the channel. Narusaku 2006 says, hey Nick, sounds like Ron really wants to be cucked by you. Run. There's not enough whiskey in the world to mount that whale of a she-beast. That would never, ever, ever happen. Oh my God. Nova Zero says, Nick, would you watch and endorse a movie by Adam Sandler called Click? I'm sure a certain wife beater needs to watch it. I've seen that movie. It's funny. Good stuff. Maybe Ron should watch that and do some self-reflection or whatever. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Prometheus Zeta says that wife-beating garbage needs to piss off. Ooh. Jacob, I missed this one earlier, sorry. Says, as big a cuck as Ron is, I think he still loses cuck of 2019 to the guy who had his wife's lover in the wedding photos because cheating is part of their is part of her identity. What? What? No. No. May God have mercy on us. Oh my gosh. Jen GM says, Ron will always be our #1 remote wielding wife smacking documented abuser. When's the wedding, Ron? Talbot. Oh wait, I moved ahead. Daka Babo says, Ron, quote, likes watching Monica get it on Soye. Will probably just say you faked this message, you fake gamer girl. Twitch thought. Smiley, smiley, wink, 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 smiley, smiley. Talbot Link says, Ron is just a possessive cuck. They tend to be the sort to hit people. Relevant to current events? Maybe. Maybe. Naru Saku 2006 says, Nick, what are you doing with Monica's lip around your bottle? Good luck trying to get to sleep tonight. I love the streams, bud. Keep up the great content. Nah, there aren't any teeth there, so we know. Talbot Link says, had to explain this case and others to my girlfriend. Her preteen kid likes Anime News Network and Channel Awesome. Was rough going. That's a shame. I'm sorry. Sorry, she didn't know. The kid didn't know. I don't know if the kid's a she or a he. Zachary Zwickle says, thanks for reading my super chat and sorry for my e-begging. I only said a GoFundMe is something suggested by a friend. You don't ever have to apologize, man. Not to me. You, my policy is to read the super chats. That's how it goes. As profitable or unprofitable for you as that is that's up to, everybody else. Austin Heartless says, I don't like them putting chemicals in the water. They make boomers late and gay. They're making the freaking boomers gay. Sonic Jr. says, by the way, folks, Nick has now passed Maddox on Twitch. That is true. That is true. I'm now coming out with my documentary, 17 Hours, How to Get Big on Twitch, or at least bigger than Maddox. In parentheses, it ain't that hard. Or whatever. But I have passed him on Twitch. I wonder what Maddox is doing these days, because I don't think he's streaming as much, and I wish I'd beaten him in a more fair fight. But he is Maddox, so. Satanic Potato says, Dorime, interimo, Dorime, ameno, latire. I don't know what that says. I don't speak the Latin. Bad Vibe says, don't die on stream. Oh, I'm not gonna die. Oh man. Guys, did you I'm sure you didn't see this. I saw the weirdest article over the weekend, and there's a musician, a singer-songwriter. He was performing live. He's 71 years old, and he just died in the middle of his set. Like, he's strumming and singing a song, and he stops and he goes, "I'm sorry." And he was just done. Just dead. Just straight out. And I was like, wow. He even apologized for dying. That's next level apologies. That was nuts. Pretty famous guy. I didn't know who he was, but he was a pretty famous guy. And they didn't say in the article what killed him. I don't know. The one I saw, it didn't say. It was pretty. No, it wasn't the Wiggles guy. The Wiggles guy lived. But it was some guy down in Florida. What was his name? Gosh. But it was wild. That stuff always blows my mind. Like, imagine the audience. The musicians on stage, they didn't even know. They thought he was just taking a break. I'm like, old guy, he's got to take a minute. Screwed up his fingering on his keyboard or on his guitar or whatever. Oh, David Olney. Thank you, David Olney. So, that's the most based Florida man death yet. Just doesn't even finish the song. Like, screw you guys. You don't get your money's worth. Dead. No, he missed one note. It's like, down. I'm sorry. Oh, dead. Okay, anyway, sorry. James Thornburg says, been watching you, Nick, since Tonga and the first days of the Vic case. Have a shot. If you can't, it's no problem. We'll keep watching all your content. James, I will have the shot on Twitch in just a little bit here. So if you want to come pop over there, I'll have it. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself before my Twitch sweet tea stream. It was a heart attack, Sakaki. That's crazy. Crazy stuff. And Lucian says big twitching with Rekieta. Yeah, big twitching. Oh, and for those of you out there, I know many of you want me to, I've received requests, we'll put it that way, to cover the Darkside Phil bankruptcy. So we'll probably be talking about bankruptcy with Darkside Phil as our subject. So there. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Let's I'll wrap up the show here. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Again, come pop over on Twitch, and I'll be starting up in just a couple minutes. And yeah, I just got to grab some food because I'm really hungry. And we'll see you there. I hope you all have a fantastic evening. And tomorrow I'll be putting together some sort of show on some sort of topic. We'll see what it is. All right, guys. Hope you have a good night. Here's, the outro song. Oh my goodness. Terrible of me to forget. It will happen here. It will play through the duration. Again, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for dealing with my ranting spurgery on Friday. And there's only more ranting spurgery to come. So I don't know why anyone expects anything else. All right, guys. Hope you have a good night. Peace. Peace. It's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes better. Raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an art bag, a bow, more a love rug. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight.
From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Dundee to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed, so pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear Lost Blaming tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law